was born in Iran. And when I was born, 1979, that was the year when the revolution in Iran happened, and also the Iran-Iraq war started. So I pretty much grew up in war until my 7th birthday, where we moved to Germany. And then when I was 4 years old, I lost my dad. So probably that's not a regular childhood to be in a war situation in a country like Iran, as part of the Christian minority in a Muslim dominant land, and also without a father and so on. So probably my childhood was a little bit different, and I think that's connected to some of the decisions I made later, like the desire to want to be strong and to be able to defend yourself.
This is a promise from the depths of my soul. I promise you that I will always be there.
I stood away from a lot of things that my classmates did, like killing yourself with alcohol at the weekend and stuff like that, just because I knew next day I want to go training, and that was quite important for me. So I said, okay, if I get drunk now, next day my training won't be that good. So I just didn't do it. So probably that saved me from a lot of dumb things to do.
And I want you to know it. With my words and deeds of death I will show it. Climb the highest mountain and scream out the truth. Roll up the sleeves and do what I can do. I don't believe their lies. I hear your cries, I feel your anger and pain when I look in your eyes. And I will never rest till I day you see you free.
Throughout my whole life, I was quite compassionate towards animals. So if I would, for example, see a bird that had some injury or anything, I would try to help, and sometimes we would even take birds to our house and have them for the winter and try to fix the problems they had, and then release them again and stuff like that. And at a certain point, I just started a thinking process, and I thought, hey, why is it that I'm trying to help one animal? Like even putting time and energy into saving it, and then on the same day I go, for instance, to a restaurant and have a chicken. Like you eat one bird and then you go and try to save another. It doesn't make any sense, actually. The question that I asked myself was, would I kill the animal to eat it? Would I kill it myself? And the answer was no. And then I thought, so that's just basically a lie if you go and buy the products, if you wouldn't kill the animal yourself. And that was the most important part of it for me. So this was the first step in that process. And then 6 years later, something happened. It was in 2011. I was doing strongman since 2006, so basically short after I became vegetarian. I also started competing at strongman events, and in 2011 I won the national championships as a vegetarian. So what I did was I published a post in my blog where I just wrote, blah blah blah. I'm the strongest man in Germany now. I'm the greatest. This and that nonsense. And the last sentence was something quite important and made a great change in my life. The last sentence was, so now I have proven that being vegetarian makes you become a better athlete. What happened was that hundreds and thousands of vegetarian blogs all around the world, they quoted this sentence and they linked back to my blog, and I instantly became quite known in the vegetarian world. I became known to some media people. So what happened was I was in big media in Germany, like in all big newspapers and in all big TV shows and so on. So like hundreds of people were writing me messages that they saw me on TV And after seeing me and after hearing me talking about how it was good for my performances not to eat meat anymore and how it helped me, that they started to just try to imagine doing that themselves, and then they tried it and it changed their life because it totally worked. That brought me to a problem because at that point I already knew that if you come from the ethical side and you say, okay, I'm not consuming meat because I don't want animals to suffer and die for me, it's probably not enough to just stop eating meat. Why? Because if you take a look how dairy is produced and how the animals are treated there, and if you take a look how eggs are produced, it's horrible. So if you're still eating eggs and dairy products and so on and other animal products, you're still feeding this industry of pain, suffering, and death. But now I started to think, okay, if I'm now someone who is influencing a lot of other people, that's not enough anymore. I really want to do it the right way. So I made the decision to become vegan afterwards. All the things that I was afraid of didn't happen. I was afraid of, for example, that I would have cravings for dairy products and so on, because I was so addicted to it. That didn't happen. I was afraid of having problems with my performances. It didn't happen. My performances even got better. I got heavier and also stronger than before. And yeah, basically everything worked fine. What I have a lot is smoothies. Simply because they help me to get a lot of calories, a lot of sugar also from the fruits in a compact way. And what I also do is I add plant-based protein to the smoothies. So what I then have is energy. I have micronutrients like vitamins and minerals and everything. I have the enzymes, so it's living food. And then I also have the protein. So I pretty much get everything that my body needs. That's something that I would, for example, have after training. I'm almost 130 kilos, and I'm quite short, so I'm really heavy for my size. With the sport that I do, your body just has much higher needs for protein and other nutrients. That's the reason why I use some supplements, just to make it easier for me. But that's not, like I said, has nothing to do with being vegan. The only supplement that you would have to use being vegan would be B12. That's it.
I promise you I'll make it hard for them to abuse you. Slavery's something that you must never get used to. I refuse to let them electrocute you, cut you open, poke you, hurt you, do all that they used to. Stop the circus and the factory farm.
I was vegetarian when I met my now wife, and she wasn't vegan or vegetarian or anything herself. When I became vegan, she was still omnivore. So, and she was actually completely shocked and out of her mind that I wanted to go completely vegan now. As she was preparing my vegan meals, she just found out that, and she was still preparing for herself stuff with meat and everything, she just found out that it wasn't that disgusting what she prepared for me. So after several weeks, she became vegetarian quite fast. And also she got a lot of information from me just because she was experiencing me doing all those interviews and everything, and I was talking about all the horrible things that have in the animal industry. And one important thing is I never pushed her. You just can give people information, and then it has to start within people themselves. So it worked quite fine with her. After a year or so, she also became vegan. Like this? Really? That loud?